Yeah, it's a very tragic situation, particularly with food, because the Ukraine war is coming right after several major shocks to global food markets. The COVID-19 pandemic, right, severely disrupted supply chains in manufacturing and transportation. Then we saw like natural disasters, like the droughts that we're seeing afflicting Somalia and many parts of Eastern Africa, and the locust infestations and other things, followed by the war in Ukraine. So effectively, after several, at least first decade and a half after the end of the Cold War, consistent progress towards reducing malnutrition. We're now seeing a reversal, not only a reversal of that progress, but a going backward of several decades in many of the most food insecure regions of the world. And the Ukraine war has just made this worse. And the problem is because of the fact that Russia has weaponized food as a tactic to get sanctions relieved on it by blockading Ukrainian ports and by continually threatening to scrap the grain deal and withdrawing from it in October, and then only renewing it on a 4-month basis, and then delaying inspections of ships.
إيه لكن لوم روسيا لا يحل الأزمة. هل من حلول حقيقية؟
Well, that's a great question. I mean, I think that the first thing that needs to be done is free, unfettered access of grain out of the Black Sea. And that means dealing with all the causes of it, dealing with the Russian blockade, dealing with demining, landmine investments in the removal of landmines and sea mines on the Black Sea coast is absolutely integral. It's not something that should be timed for the next 10 to 15 years. It's something that should be done even as soon as the war is finished, or even while the war is still going on, to make sure that the food reaches them. Another thing that's important is making sure that the inspections regime is much more rigorously enforced, and that food aid and food supply comes much more frequently than just these symbolic gifts that we're seeing coming to places like Somalia, Sudan, Kenya, and real mobilization at the multilateral level. So in the United Nations, and a recognition on all sides that this is a global problem and this is not a West non-West divide. The food security crisis has been tied to the broader geopolitical divisions in the world, and that's where the problems are. Unfortunately, I think because of the polarizations, we're not seeing that exactly what you're saying. A lot of blame gaming, a lot of people pointing fingers, but not a lot of solutions, and that's where the problem is.